Check, check.
Good. Good. All right, we'll go and get started with Rickie Fowler here in the interview room at the World Golf Championships Dell Technologies Match Play. Rickie, first time back at Austin Country Club since the debut here in 2016. Just some opening comments on being back here in Austin.
Yeah, no, looking forward to being back here. A lot of stuff in the past schedule and leading up to Augusta, and to be honest, I wasn't a huge fan of the group format. I loved the 64, just knockout. You knew exactly what you were getting into. But we're here to basically try and get ourselves back in Augusta. So, I'm looking forward to it. We have a tough group the first 3 days. But, hey, that's what you're going to face in match play. And everyone here, unlike a lot of other sports, as you guys know, match playing golf is a bit of a toss-up. Yes, the number 1 seed against the number 64 seed is number 1's going to win the majority of the time, but it's 18 holes and anything can really happen.
Perfect. And then just 3 top 10s on the season overall. You coming in off a tie for 13th at the Players. Just what are your thoughts on just your overall state of the game as you're entering this this big stretch of golf here coming up?
It's definitely been a lot better. Being able to kind of build some momentum and ultimately build some confidence. Last few weeks I really haven't felt that great with the swing, but what I've been able to get out of those weeks shows a little bit more, state of the game and how I'm feeling, and doing a lot better of being able to salvage, what's maybe a poor round or poor week, and kind of turning those into, better than where they've been, whether they're a miscut or finishing in the back of the pack. Top 20s and top 10s are still good out here on the PGA Tour, and looking forward to getting back to where feeling better with the swing, because if we can finish where we have been not feeling great, I'm looking forward to when things are feeling really good.
Perfect. All right, with that, we'll just open up for some questions. If you have a question, just raise your hand. I'll get a mic over to you. Start with Cam over here.
Rickie, when you went back to Butch and made the caddy change, a lot of big changes at the end of last season. Now you're back here. Your ranking is really on the move. Has this all happened faster than you thought it would, or slower than you thought it would, or about on the timetable that you thought it would happen?
I was kind of at a point. I knew what I was capable of, but had to go in with kind of either low or no expectations and just put the work in. And it was definitely nice to see some immediate progress or steps in the right direction. And then once I got some good finishes in the fall, that helped kind of put me in a position where I knew, what I could do and what was possible. But yeah, I would say after the season last year, it was just, all right, let's figure out a plan. Start with a clean slate. And like I said, at that point, it was either low or kind of no expectations, and just, we're going to put the work in and, see what we can do.
Okay, let's go right here to Kirk.
Yeah, Rickie, you talked about liking the format here. Well, in your mind, would it be a shame if match play goes away for good on the tour?
I would love to see there still be a match play event at some point. I know there's, it's just a unique form of play compared to what we normally do. Like I mentioned, I prefer kind of the 64 knockout, or, is it something, there was a tournament we used to play, the Western Am, that was, stroke play and then cut to 16 guys and went to match play. But match play, other than, what we see in team events, it's fun. We obviously wouldn't want it every week just because of how volatile it is. And,
right.
It's not always the guy that's playing the best that week. You can hit someone that, gets hot for that day and knocks that person out. But, I love match play. I'd love to see a form of it, be in the future on the tour.
And Rickie, if I could get your opinion on Scottie Scheffler and what impresses you the most about his rise, and just how difficult it is to sustain that over a long period of time, like he's done so far.
Yeah, he's a pretty decent player. It's been a lot of fun to watch. Scottie is obviously a very good player, but he's an even better person. So he's easy to root for. He's fun to be around. I'm gotten to know him a little bit. I know his caddy, Ted Scott, even better since I spent a decent amount of time with him and Bubba back in the day. I think that's been a great pairing. And yeah, I think a lot of that is, like I said, obviously he's a great player, but sometimes that play comes in waves, and you got to ride that wave. His wave has been a little longer than some guys, and nothing short of impressive. It's hard to really find a weakness in his game, and a lot of that comes to that momentum and confidence. All these guys out here can play, but when you've got a lot of momentum and you got a lot of confidence, the game seems pretty easy.
Thanks, Shane.
Rickie, I don't know if you follow Nosferatu on Twitter. He's like the OWGR guru, but it looks like quarterfinal maybe would give you a chance to get into the top 50. Is that on your mind, and is the Masters on your mind as we're kind of, sort of getting to our last chances?
I mean, yeah, I knew I needed to come here and play well. I wasn't sure of exactly what I needed to do. The nice thing with, the kind of world rankings and what's coming off, really anything I do that puts points on the board is only going to move me up from, here moving forward. So yeah, I mean, my short-term goal is to obviously get myself back in Augusta. If that doesn't happen, we're going to continue to move forward and be in a good position.
Different question, totally. You're very placid. You're very calm and matter of fact when you do interviews. Do you feel as a person happier because of the way you're playing now? Are you the same as you've always been off the course, and the only difference is that you're playing golf better? Or is there like does it change your life in some positive way as well?
No, I mean, even, the last few years when I hadn't been playing very well, everything other than golf was great. So, between family and personal life and, I enjoyed the grind at home of putting the time in and the work in. Unfortunately, I wasn't seeing, a lot of good out of it. But yeah, everything away from the course was great. So it was a good learning period. I wish it was a bit shorter. But no, I feel like I'm the same as I was the last few years, on and off the course. The only thing is I do feel a lot better and have a lot more confidence and playing better. So it's the golf part of it is a bit more fun because I know what I'm capable of. But yeah, I learned a lot in the last few years. So like I said, I wish it was shorter, but at the same time, everyone goes through ups and downs, and it's a bit more about what you learn and how you come back from them.
The Rex.
Rickie, as someone who's played in quite a few of the World Golf Championship events, why do you think they've run their course? It doesn't seem like there's much of a future for them.
I'm not sure. I mean, I think it kind of started, pandemic had a big kind of hit with it. Prior to that, with not having Akron on the schedule, I feel like that was a very much a staple WGC. But yeah, like you said, they've kind of run their course. I think with some of the changes coming, it kind of picks up or makes up for what the WGCs have kind of been. But yeah, I don't have a real answer for you on why they've kind of fizzled out. I know a lot of guys have really enjoyed them. But yeah, I think there's a lot of things you could go into, but I don't think there's one specific answer.
All right, to sort of spin it, what did they mean to you throughout your career? Because you played since the beginning.
To me, they kind of felt like almost like bonus events. Like you earned your way into a top tier event with the top players in the world, and you look forward to them. Obviously, no cut, and you knew that even if you got off to say a rough start, you had 4 rounds, and it's interesting to look. There's quite a few times where guys make the cut on the number in a normal tour event, and there's a handful of times where guys have a chance to win on Sunday. Not saying that makes what a WGC is or not. But I think it shows, how fine of a line things are, especially when you look at a limited field and no cut. Yeah, someone can, shoot a high one on Thursday or Friday and still have a chance to win a golf tournament.
Hey, Doug.
If you don't do well enough this week to get into the top 50, will you go to San Antonio next week?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm committed and planning on playing there. If I do play well enough, we'll kind of maybe reconsider and see where we're at. But yeah, kind of doing whatever I need to do to give myself the best chance to be in Augusta, and then planning to play the following week at Hilton Head as well.
And then as it relates to this tournament, what would be your single fondest memory of match play at this event?
My single fondest, probably beating Phil in Tucson. That was a fun one.
Elaborate, please.
I played well. You obviously have to beat Phil in match play, but I remember I hit a couple 4-irons. One of them I hit to gimme on, I can't remember, par 5 on the back 9 up the hill, and yeah, it was just one of those days. I kind of had it going, and Phil and I were, a lot closer then because we spent a lot of time both playing practice rounds and games together, and it was fun to get the better of him that day.
Any words that stand out?
Phil,
there's got to be something.
No, I mean we had plenty of games back in those days, and even when I was his teammate, I remember one day I think I made 9 or 10 birdies at Augusta, and I was his teammate, and I remember on the 8th hole he was trying to trick me on the read and get in my head, and luckily I ended up making it. So it was, to get paired up against him and ultimately, play really well and get the better of him. I know how much it, maybe got under his skin a bit, and it's just fun when you get to, beat your buddies.
Let's go there in the back.
Rickie, you mentioned the group setting for match play and having been paired with other players, talented players this week, including Rahm, who's won 3 times, and Horschel, who won the match play back in 2021. What aspects of your game are you focusing on specifically going into this week?
For me, I have to drive it well. Like I mentioned, swing-wise earlier, I hadn't been feeling that great the last few weeks, and driving it was one of the areas that kind of felt the worst. If I go drive it well, I know I can, contend and play with anyone out here this week. But obviously some tough matchups, and you can't really dictate a whole lot on how the other guy's going to play. I've played a lot with Rahm over the years. Yeah, we've been paired together quite a bit. We both enjoy playing together. He seems to play well when he's paired with me, so I know that's going to be a tough match out of the gate. And Billy and I were Walker Cup teammates and partners in 2007. And Keith Mitchell, he can flat out play. So I'm going to need to play well all 3 days. No one's going to lay down. There's not going to be an easy match, but that's what you expect when you're coming to play against the best players in the world, and it's going to be a battle.
And then a off-topic follow-up to that. Do you have any vibrant outfits planned in the works for this week?
Vibrant, I don't know how vibrant you may be looking. Pretty calm today with the overcast weather, all black, but we are launching our Palm Tree Crew collab with Kygo and Puma and myself, so there's a couple floral kind of tropical shirts that I'll wear. Luckily it'll be warming up the next few days, so I won't be fully covered up, and we'll be able to rock some of the new gear, and looking forward to that.
All right. Rickie, thanks so much for the time.
Yep.
Best luck this week.
Thank you. Bye, Doug.